I applied to be an astronaut in 1996, and I flew my first flight, space flight, in 1999. And I can remember looking out the window, my first 20 minutes in space, and I saw something on the horizon. I didn't even recognize what it was. And I said to one of my crewmates, I said, "What is that thin film on the surface?" And he said, "That's our atmosphere." And I saw how incredibly delicate and fragile the surface of our planet is, almost like a contact lens over somebody's eye that protects every living thing we know here on Earth. And that film is a lot thinner than you think. You know, from orbit, you don't see politics. You don't see religions. You don't see political borders, with few exceptions. I mean, you see the Indian-Pakistan border at night, and you can see the DMZ, and that's about it. For the daytime, during the daytime, it looks like we are all part of one big planet Earth. And that perspective, it changes you, but also connects you to something very old. You know, in Indian philosophy, there's this phrase, and I'm going to probably butcher it, but Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And it's a word, thank you. I'm sure I butchered it anyway. But it basically means that the world, our planet, is one family. And from orbit, you know, that's not really a philosophy. It's really just geography. Because the Earth doesn't look like one place. And that's one of the reasons why human spaceflight matters so much. Because it's not just about technology or national prestige, which is very important. It's about expanding our perspective as a species. You know, long before rockets and satellites existed, you know, Indian scholars, they were already studying the cosmos. Astronomers like, again, I'm going to butcher it, Aryabhata, more than 1,500 years ago. You know, he was calculating planetary motion and describing the rotation of the Earth, which means that India was doing orbital mechanics about 1,400 years before NASA even existed. You know, right now, we're living in a really remarkable moment in the history of space exploration. You know, more countries are going into space more than ever before. More people are becoming astronauts. We have a few right here in the room today, and I'm very proud to be able to share the stage with them later. And more nations are continuing to commit to humanity beyond Earth, in low Earth orbit. And India is a great example of that.